Report 24936, Class Alpha. Submitted by Witness Brian on Thursday, October 23, 2008. Sighting off Indian Road behind isolated, at the time, Desert Hot Springs Condo Complex year, 1979 season, spring month, May date, N/estate, California County, Riverside County. Location details. It was at the Desert Hot Springs condominium complex approximate 10 miles north of Palm Springs. Nearest town, Desert Hot Springs, CA. Nearest road, Indian Avenue. Observed, was going back to close shop at approximate 10 p.m. in the northern desert above Palm Springs, CA, and saw a huge light tan-colored biped with soft blowing hair. Because I was in a small VW bug with the light pointing down into the street upon leaving the driveway facing out into the desert. I froze there with my dim headlight on it, and it too froze there completely still. I flashed my worthless high beams at it, and it took 2 giant steps backwards and then 1 to my left, its right, and was gone into the dark. I was overcome with severe fear, panic and anxiety, and had to return home again. I was armed with a .45 at the time and was still worried that if I shot it I would be in real trouble. Enormous, with the chest the size of a refrigerator. Arms that hung below the knees and were still huge. I did not speak with anyone about it right away because whoever heard of a desert Bigfoot, but later found out that all the locals call him Yucca Man. Also noticed, I went out the next day, armed, for a walk out there, and you could tell a footprint for your life out there. Other witnesses, a girlfriend who could not dig her glasses out in time to see it. Other stories, I heard it terrorizes the Marines at 29 Palms Base. Time and conditions, 10 p.m. approximate environment, desert, almost completely isolated community. A and G references, Southern California Delorme Atlas page 107, index of a 4 follow-up investigation report by BFRO investigator Richard Hucklebridge. I called Brian and we went over his short visual encounter of a very large hairy creature he observed on the north side of this remote Desert Hot Springs condominium located on Indian Avenue, north of HWY 10 at the time of the sighting. That area around his condo was just plain desert and remote with no other buildings or homes in that area. There is not a lot to add to this story. The location of that condominium complex is located about 10 miles east of the San Bernardino Mountains and the Morogo Indian Reservation, about 7 miles northeast of the San Jacinto Mountains. About 7 miles to the east is the Joshua Tree National Monument. A few miles to the north are some lower desert mountains and the 29 Palms area. To the south is the town of Palm Springs, and a little further south are the Santa Rosa Mountains. As his headlights crossed this desert area that is located on the north side of his condo complex, this creature seemed to step out from behind a yucca tree that was located approximately 150 foot away from him and his vehicle's headlights, which were on low beams at that time. He immediately switched them over to high beams so he would be able to see this strange creature just a little better. But no, he still couldn't see the complete creature due to the poor lighting system on his vehicle, and the height of this creature. The creature then froze for a second, and as the headlight beams were changed, this creature then took 2 quick steps backward and 1 to its right, which put it completely in the dark and out of sight of the weak headlight beams. What he did, or didn't see during this very short sighting time, was that he couldn't see above its chest area. But what he did see were 2 very large legs that looked like tree trunks and 2 very large arms and hands that seemed to extend below its knees. It had a chest that looked like a large refrigerator that had 2 to 3 hair all over its legs, body and arms. He didn't see any mammary glands on its chest, and the color of this creature seemed to be a light, sandy brown color. Witness stated that at the time he was filled with absolute terror and fright.
we're trying to essentially kind of re-talk through some of these earlier investigations, and this is near the sighting location, the Yucca Man sighting location. As you can see, that we think this actual sighting location from BFRWO was probably about a couple miles east of here, kind of down this way. Um, as you can see, the military bases back this way they referred to in the original um, story, or original BFRO report. Um, there's the higher mountain range here of the San Bernardino range, that certainly possible these squatches can range down and kind of occupy this still high desert area, even though it's pretty sparse as far as being able to take cover. But at nighttime, it could probably do a pretty good job, and that's when this sighting actually took place. Um, kind of basically scared the uh, driver of the small vehicle, as the headlight kind of shone on it. He went back the next day, wasn't able to find any tracks per se, which is pretty much believable. This desert is pretty unforgiving. It's not like your typical desert you would see in the movies, or possibly maybe you've been to them, possibly deployed to them, where it's kind of like the white sand type desert you envision. This desert's the dirt's hard, and you can see not much grows. There's yucca trees, which is unique to this area specifically. There's also creosote trees, which are what these are, which afford some a hiding area, I guess you could say, but they're not. They're pretty sparse. They're few and far between. But as you can see down this way, there is power poles, so squatches are known to kind of run those. Um, and they can possibly range back up here where there's been other sighting locations too. So again, we just kind of wanted to go back through and talk about the after report or after investigation with some follow-up footage, as we kind of sift back through our own documentation and footage, and uh, kind of replay them, and I hope everyone's getting something out of these. So everyone have a great day.